What's the most flat-out wrong thing your kid has ever been taught in school? My son's 5th grade teacher told his class that your tongue tastes sweet only at the tip and bitter only at the back, that there's a fixed map, and each flavor lives in its own zone. Eli came home and stuck out his tongue in the mirror, trying to figure out where his salty section was. I told him gently that it doesn't actually work that way. Every taste bud on your tongue can pick up every flavor. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, all of it everywhere. He frowned at me. But Mr. Pruitt drew the whole map on the board, Dad. He said it's science. I run the kitchen at a restaurant downtown. I've spent 20 years tasting sauces at every stage, on every part of my mouth, and I promise you there is no bitter-only corner back there. But I didn't want to just tell Eli his teacher was wrong. So that night, I emailed Mr. Pruitt and asked if I could come in for 15 minutes during their career day, since I'm a chef and taste is sort of my whole job. He wrote back that the kids would love it. When I got there, Mr. Pruitt introduced me as Eli's dad, who cooks at a fancy place. 26 kids looked up from desks covered in stickers and doodled binders. I hear you learned the tongue has a map, I said. Every head nodded. Mr. Pruitt smiled from the corner. I pulled a little paper cup of sugar out of my bag and handed out plastic spoons I'd brought. Let's test it, I said. Put a few grains way at the very back of your tongue, the bitter zone, and tell me what you taste. 26 kids did it. A beat passed. Then a girl in front blurted, "It's sweet." The whole room started talking at once. Sweet at the back, sweet on the sides, sweet everywhere they put it. 2 boys were already arguing about the front of the tongue versus the middle, testing again just to be sure. Mr. Pruitt's smile went stiff. Well, everyone's mouth is a little different, he said. I pulled up an article on my phone. The tongue map came from a mistranslated German study over a century ago and got copied into textbooks for decades before scientists tossed it out. I showed him the screen. A boy near the window said, "So the board was wrong?" And the class exploded into whispers. That's when Mr. Pruitt asked me to step into the hall. The door clicked shut. "Do you understand how much harder you just made my job?" he said, keeping his voice low. "Now they'll argue with everything I put up there." I stayed calm. "Isn't that the point? You want them checking, testing, tasting for themselves." He crossed his arms. "I've taught this unit for 15 years. I'm not rebuilding it because a cook brought in a bag of sugar." That night, Eli asked if he'd done something bad, because Mr. Pruitt had barely looked at him all afternoon. I told him he'd done nothing wrong. The next morning, there was a surprise quiz. One question: where on the tongue do you taste sweetness? Eli wrote, "The whole tongue." It came back circled in red, marked wrong. He walked in that afternoon with his eyes swollen, holding the paper like it might bite him. He didn't cry in front of me, but I heard him later through his door. A 5th grader shouldn't have to choose between a good grade and being right. I asked for a meeting with the principal and brought everything: printed research, the district's own science standards, and Eli's graded quiz. Principal Rankin read it all, then called Mr. Pruitt in. Faced with the pages, he said, "This is the way I've always covered it." Rankin asked him quietly, "But is it accurate?" There was a long silence. Then he said, "It's simpler for them to remember." I lost it a little. My kid is crying before school because he got a failing mark for writing down the truth. Within 2 weeks, the 5th grade unit was rewritten, and the quiz question was struck from Eli's record. Mr. Pruitt was asked to sit in on a refresher session on updated science. On the next report card, under Eli's name, he wrote, "Strong scientific curiosity." But at conferences, he wouldn't meet my eyes. And when I signed up to help judge the spring science fair, I found my name had quietly been erased from the sheet. Eli still runs things past me now. "Dad, is this real or is it just another tongue map thing?"